Hey there, my name's Garrett E, and I'm a two-time scholarship recipient from the Parelli Foundation. So about 2 weeks ago, I found out there was a Mustang tip competition going on in Georgia, where they take the wild Mustangs and they gentle them, and for the older ones, they gentle them to ride, the younger ones, they gentle them to be able to live in the human world, be okay with it. So this has been something I've been really interested in for a really long time, but I've never had the time or the money or the resources to be able to do it. So at this point in my life, I did. And when my friend told me about this competition, I got really excited. But then when I looked up the competition, I found out pickup day was the day I found out about it. So it was a bit late in the game to pick up a Mustang. But on a whim, I decided to call the event manager and ask her if there was any Mustangs available. So I called the event manager, and she said there weren't, but that I could come the next day and hang out, and if somebody dropped out, then I could pick up their Mustang. So I went the next morning, filled up paperwork until 3 a.m., and then I went the next morning and hung out for about 3 hours. And the event manager approached me. She said, "There's no Mustangs available, nobody's dropped out, but I have one that isn't competition worthy, but I'm going to call the Bureau of Land Management and see if I can get this Mustang to be a part of the competition." So long story short, she called the Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, and asked them if we could change this Mustang into a competition Mustang, and they said yes. So at this point, once I found out that they had a Mustang available, they said, "Go back your trailer up to the chute." So I backed my trailer up to the chute to load the Mustang in, and this little girl was already there and already waiting. I backed the trailer up, opened the gate, they opened the chute, she walked out, hopped on the trailer within 5 seconds, and then immediately licked and chewed, which is processing as soon as she got on the trailer. Everything was fine. Everything was hunky-dory. So I drive back that day, and since I had found out about this at 9 o'clock the night before, I haven't had time to update my facilities for a wild Mustang. What needed to be happen essentially is I have a round corral that's 5 foot tall, and for a wild Mustang, you needed to be 6 feet tall. So friends and family came over, and just everybody poured in, and everybody helped me, and we built this round pen to another extra foot in a couple hours. So she was hanging out in our stock trailer that whole time and just wandering around. She had hay, she had water, she was fine. So after the round pen was built and everything was set up for her, we backed the trailer up and opened the gate, and she just sort of stood there. She was like, "This trailer's fine for me." So rather than forcing her to get off, we just hung out and played with her on the trailer. And eventually, by the end, she was on the trailer for 3 hours without getting off. The door was open the entire time. And at the end of it, she was letting me get on the trailer and rub her withers and rub her hindquarters, rub her face, down her front legs, everywhere. Almost, at least everywhere. And this was just one of the biggest adrenaline rushes I've ever had, and it was a good adrenaline rush. It was one of the best experiences of my life to take this wild Mustang and give her her first actual touches. And so eventually we got her off the trailer, and eventually she came in and she got a drink of water and was fine. And just started exploring. So for about a week before the competition, before I found out about the Mustang competition, I had heard about Wendelin. And Wendelin, I was privileged to see Wendelin's raw footage. Wendelin is a horse that Pat played with in Texas for a couple hours. It had a severe distrust of humans and was essentially wild, but with baggage from humans. So doubling up on his outlook on humans, his poor outlook on humans at that point. And so I was able to watch Pat's raw footage of it, and it was, as those of you who have seen it, she's rolling right now. She's off camera, but she's rolling next to me. Actually, she's just laying down now. Here, you can see her. Just hanging. So Pat had played with this horse, Wendelin, for about 2 hours, and he had made great progress with Wendelin. And Wendelin was starting to try and trust Pat, and Pat was starting to rub on Wendelin, and it was going really well. So we hadn't heard much about Wendelin. The Parelli Foundation hadn't heard much about Wendelin for a while after that. And just recently, we found that she had actually been put down because of behavioral issues. She was sent to 2 other trainers that weren't Parelli trainers, Parelli professionals, and she had been put down because they had deemed her untrainable and wild and dangerous. And this had saddened me, because I'd seen the raw footage, I'd seen how the horse had been processing and working, and she was making progress, and it was just like an unnecessary loss of life. And so about a week after that is when I got my Mustang, and I was trying to figure out a name for her, and I was thinking of all different female horse names, and nothing was really sticking until I had thought about Wendelin, and I thought about the story of Wendelin. And now this is a horse that has a clean slate, this Mustang right here. She has a clean slate and a new chance to live with humans and live in harmony with humans. So I thought, what better way to carry on Wendelin than to name her after Wendelin? So this is Wennie. And Wennie has done absolutely fantastic, and she has come so far with trusting. Just the fact that she laid down over there is huge. Horses will not lay down until they feel it's absolutely safe, since it's such a vulnerable position. And Wennie has taught me so much, and she has come so far in just the 2 weeks that I've had her. Like, she's hanging out with me. She has grass over there. She has water over there. She'd just rather hang out here with us. And it's just been truly an amazing experience. So you're welcome to follow our journey on Facebook or Instagram. You can find us through the Parelli Foundation. They've tagged us in several posts. But if you're interested in supporting Wendelin's journey, Wendelin and Wennie, go ahead and head over to the Parelli Foundation, and they have a Wendelin fund set up so that for the first month, Laura Holleran has actually decided to match up to $5,000 in donations. And this goes all to horse welfare, all the things that help prevent cases like Wendelin from ever happening again. So head on over there if you're interested. Follow me or follow the Parelli Foundation on Facebook, and keep up with our journey. She's done awesome. I look forward to hearing from you.